Hello everyone and welcome. Yes, my name is Arrowfire and welcome back to another episode of No Shock. Like the tape recorder said. So today on this episode I want to talk about Transformer Holy Grails or collecting Holy Grails. Any form of collecting, you have something that you're working towards that you always want. You think one day if only I could just get it. Sometimes you do. So today I'm going to go through a couple of my Holy Grails and some that I think are going to be quite common in Transformers collecting, but also what happens when you get to the Holy Grail, when you get what you've been searching for. Do you then set yourself other targets, other things that you really want in your collection that seem so far away, almost impossible? Is there such a thing as a Holy Grail? Let's get into it. I'll start with one of my more recent pickups that I got at TF Nation, actually, just gone this year. I got Titan's Return Misfire. Hey, that everyone has been after, and you can get him. You pay through the nose for him, and I didn't do too bad for a reasonable price. Bisto, that's for you. But I got him, and this I always thought would be either unobtainable or I'd have to move heaven and earth to get it. And I thought, is this, when I got it, is this the Holy Grail? Is this the one that I would never get? It's too far out of reach. And I saw it and I was just like, wow, this is something I've been hunting for. I mean, when did this figure come out? Like 2015, 16? Older, maybe? And I've got it now and it's great. It was actually Brad, Exilian XLR, to give him his YouTube name, who said very, very poignantly, very accurately, that it's more about the journey than the destination, and it's very much the chase of wanting something. When you've got it, don't get me wrong, it's great. I'm very glad that I've got it. It's just sitting in a collection now with its other new seekers in my rebirth collection, as I like to have it. And I'm very happy with him, but it's been the hunt for so long. And when I finally got it, the euphoria, the state of euphoria, not even the fact that it's a pretty good Transformer, to be fair, but I wouldn't matter if it wasn't. It's the fact it's the one that I set myself up on a pedestal thinking, would I ever get it? I finally did. And another one, and arguably one that I spent longer and moved heaven and earth to try and get, when I finally got it, Make Toys Howling Meteor, their version of a masterpiece, Starscream. And okay, this is starting to show its age now. That's a conversation for another day, really. For a long time, this was the de facto seeker because the masterpiece offering that Takara brought out wasn't really cutting the mustard. There wasn't really a good alternative, and Make Toys didn't seem to do many runs of this figure. So it came down to the secondary market. You could spend easily £200, £250 because it was the best offering for so long and he was very rare. Now, because there's other offerings, you can find him quite cheap as chips, so I feel a bit stupid now, but this is it. For so long there was no alternative, so I don't know when this guy came out really, but it felt like for about 3 to 4 years there wasn't an alternative, so I was chasing him down. I did find him, I did buy him, and I'm not unhappy with him at all, but when I finally got it, it was a state of, wow, this is one I've been after for so long. Did I ever think I would get it? I actually made my peace and said I wouldn't. I thought I'd just have to tolerate until something else came along. Maybe a Fans Toys would do Starscream if they'd ever dare. But I'm not unhappy with him. He is showing his age now with those other offerings of the Seeker mold being released by other companies. He is showing his age. And potentially there's others on the market that look better, a better representation of Starscream, but when I got him, it was that you've finally done it. All those years of chasing, and I do mean years, you finally got what you wanted. But let's just look into that term, Holy Grail. This is something that we think we're never going to get. Look at some of the more recent offerings in Legacy, and look how some of these figures have sold out so quickly, even on the Legacy side with Hasbro Pulse. You go on there, can anyone find a Cosmos? Is Cosmos even that popular a character? I understand the figure's quite good fun, probably the best representation we've had of Cosmos. Do we need to sell out of him? Is that down to limited production run, or is that everyone jumping on the bandwagon, or is he really that good? Is this everyone's Holy Grail because there hasn't been a Cosmos before? And it got me wondering, is a Holy Grail a mindset? Is it individual based? And look at some of the figures there. That Starscream, for so long, you couldn't find him. I couldn't find him. And now, because there's other offerings, he's bloody everywhere, isn't he? So is there such a thing as a Holy Grail, or do you have to play the very long waiting game? The really long waiting game to the point that you will get it. It might feel like it takes forever, but you will get the figure you're after, and your collection will ultimately be complete because there will be someone who is the same as you but at a different position as you with their collecting, and they will recycle their figures and you can take their wares. So I find it quite surprising with this new issue of new releases, like a Cosmos, like a whoever from Hasbro Pulse, the Inferno figure that's come out under the Legacy line. That's sold out on most distributing sites at the moment. Armada Starscream that's going to be coming out soon, that's also a little bit rare. Is that again just short-term stock and high demand? Is it as much one as the other? Is it just people's Holy Grail? So that Beast Wars Inferno, for example, that's the first Inferno toy we've had since the original. So maybe there is something in that. Again, with Cosmos, this is probably the best representation of Cosmos we've ever had. So is there such a thing as a Holy Grail? But I will say, whatever you want to call it, and whether it's a placebo effect, a fallacy, whatever you want to call it, if there's something you've been after in your collection for so long, when you finally pick it up and say, I've chased, I've moved heaven and earth, I've tried to buy alternatives that haven't come through for me, I speak for experience, when you get it, it is such a relief as much as it is. I mean, there is ecstaticness, giddiness, childlike euphoria, but it is a relief that the hunt is finally over and your collection is done. And sadly, you just put it in a shelf to go along with your other figures, so it doesn't get any more of a ceremonial ending than any other. But anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, I will see you on the next one.